This one is the list of 7 bad decisions the first time home buyers made at the beginning and how to avoid each of them. My name is Christopher Raimundo. I'm a real estate broker with Priority Realty Partners. And this 7 mistake over the years, I have seen it happening multiple times, and it's really sad. I'm going to tell you about it and the solution to each of them. I started learning and investing in real estate since 1997, and over the years I have seen even more of this. The first one is when you have real estate agent or people that comments around you and tell you real estate always goes up. No matter, you will never make a mistake. Everybody knows it. The value of real estate will always go up. That's a lie. That's not true. Okay? Real estate operates in cycles, and there are short cycles and there are long-term cycles. This video is not for me to explain those things, but there are times when value goes up and value goes down. And if you buy a property when the value went up and it's about to go at the end of the cycle going down, okay, and when it's going down is when you need to refinance the property or sell the property, you can get in serious financial trouble for listening to people that tell you that real estate value always goes up all the time. Okay, that is not true. It's true, for example, now in 2023 in South Florida, in the area of Miami, we are enjoying a 12-year run. It's a record where value of medium home prices have gone up every year for 12 years straight. Actually, we're past due one of the long-term cycle that is anywhere between 7 to 10 years a cycle ends. So we're in year number 12, so we're past overdue. That's why you see in the news around this time frame people expecting the end of the cycle. But back to point number 1, people that tell you the real estate always goes up, go ahead and buy right away with your eyes closed. Just run in the other direction. That's the best decision you can make right away, and have a conversation with other people that calmly can explain to you what's the condition of the market in that area where you plan to buy your house, and what will be the different options that you have for you to make your own decision. Number 2, buying without understanding how different type of loans work over the entire term of the loan. Okay, if you get a loan for 20 years or 30 years, you want to understand clearly what the payments are going to be in year 1, year 2, year 10, year 12, 15, all the way to the end. Okay, when the market crashed in 2028, one of the biggest complaints a lot of buyers were saying was that the mortgage payment after they bought their first house, it doubled. It increased dramatically to a point where they just could not afford it. Okay, because a lot of them were buying homes with, for example, one of the product was loans that with adjustable interest rate. And since they heard people saying that real estate value always goes up and don't worry about it, variable interest rate loan, they start with a very low introductory interest rate, but in 2 years or 3 years down the road, the interest rate will adjust, and if the interest rate goes up to the roof, your mortgage payment will go up to the roof as well. And if you bought the property, like most homeowners, they get pre-qualified for a loan first. The loan officer tells them this is the maximum you qualify for, and what do? They buy all the way up to the maximum they qualify for. And if the loan get adjusted up, you are in trouble. And the way to avoid it, I'm going to give you 2 tips. Number 1, try to get a fixed interest rate and ask the loan officer to take the time to explain to you what are the different type of loans available to you at this time for you to buy that home that you want to buy. And how will that loan perform, what the payments are going to be for the entire duration of the whole loan, not just this year when you buy it or next year, but for the whole loan. Okay, and then you have more information for you to make a better decision for yourself. Number 3, buying the first home up to the maximum loan amount that you qualify for, without also asking or taking in consideration other personal finances factor, okay, or asking what other factor may affect you 1 or 2 years down the road. Okay, when you're going to buy a house, you're going to get into a point where you will sit down with a loan officer and start the process of getting pre-qualified for a loan to buy a house. And he or she is going to tell you, okay, according to your income and the expenses you have, the maximum loan amount we can give you is X, whatever amount. And what most first-time home buyers do, they go and look for a property all the way up to the max. Okay, that is a huge mistake for most people. If your finances are flexible enough and you know continue to increase and you feel very comfortable, it could potentially work for you. But for most first-time home buyer, that's a huge mistake, because there are other factors when you buy a house, okay, that will play into the finances and the payment for year number 2 and year number 3. Let me give you a couple examples. Number 1, when you buy a property, you're going to pay the mortgage that includes the principal, interest, taxes and insurance, and mortgage insurance. Okay, this is not a video for me to explain. I have other video where I go into more details in regard to different kind of loans, but it have different components, including taxes. The first year, you're going to pay the percentage of the tax that you're supposed to pay into the mortgage according to the current tax year. However, it's very likely that next year the taxes will go up and your payment will adjust if your taxes are included in escrow with your monthly payment. Okay, and if you bought all the way to the maximum, okay, thinking that things are gonna go up and everything's gonna be okay next year, you could get in trouble. Second thing is that the cost of your living, of your expenses that you have right now, with inflation, things will get more expensive as time goes by. That's normal. Gas, the cost of internet, the cost of this, the cost of electricity, the water, and everything else that you will have to pay, especially if you've been renting and this is your first house. All those other expenses that you are not used to paying, you will be paying, and if the cost goes up, that bill is going to go to you in year number 2. And when you accumulate the increase of your living expenses plus the increase of property taxes, possibly property insurance on your mortgage payment, you can see how in year number 2 you can quickly start getting into financial problem, because you start out all the way to the max from the beginning. So why not look at what your maximum is and say thank you very much, but do a financial analysis to see what are you paying in rent, what your costs are, where you feel comfortable, and say, okay, I've been paying this amount right now and I can pay it with no problem. Okay, how about if you increase this much or this much or this much? How would you feel paying that amount in 6 months from now, 9 months from now, next year? Would you be okay? Okay, and just buy a little bit under of your maximum. That way you give yourself a little cushion there for any variation or changes and different things that can come up, because if it's possible that it can come up, it'll probably come up. Number 4, buy new construction home that will be finished many months down the road or years down the road. A lot of times you have salespeople, even real estate agent too, and people that get excited and try to get you to buy a new construction. Oh, because they're beautiful, they're exciting, they're modern, everything is good, things are going to be great, property value always going to go up, and things like that. and this is your first time, you never bought a property before, okay, that could be a big mistake. And I'm going to highlight some points for you if you're thinking about buying a brand new construction as your first home, especially if that new construction is a vacation property somewhere, condominium in a very, very exotic place next to the beach or something like that, or by the mountain or by the lake. And right now all you have to do is an initial deposit, and don't worry about it. The construction is going to be done 9 months down the road, 2 years down the road, a year and a half down the road, and then you get a loan at that time, and by that time the property is going to be worth a lot more. Think about this. You're renting, you never bought a property. Now you save some money to put down or to buy your first property. You put it for this brand new construction, and the way you're going to pay the property varies and changes from builder to builder. Some builder may ask you an initial deposit, 5-10% upfront, sometimes 20%. And then when the construction is about 20-30% done, they may ask you another 5-10% deposit. Then when it's 50% done, they may ask you for another 5 or 20% more. And then when the construction is finished, that's when you pay the rest, and you may get a loan at that time. Okay, but think about this. You just save some money for the deposit, you paying your bills, you rent, and now your expenses double or triple, because every year not only you have to pay your current expenses, but now you have to start carrying the expenses of that new construction, and you cannot even move into the house until that thing is constructed. And some builders sometimes give you the opportunity to pay a monthly payment until the house is ready, meaning you have your rent payment plus that new payment on the new construction. And you got to make sure you calculate those numbers all the way up until that time if you can pay it today. Okay, think about those things ahead of time. What are the solutions that I can offer you for that? These are some ideas, and you don't have to follow any of them, okay, but you can avoid this by doing a few things. Number one, get another new construction if that's what you're looking for, okay. But a lot of time you will find builder they have new construction that are ready this month or next month, okay. A lot of projects right now are halfway done or almost finished, and they already have some of the properties that are already built, or they're about to have it finished in the next few weeks, and they offer a lot of time larger incentive for those properties that are ready right now and they don't have a buyer for. You can come in now and negotiate a really good deal on a brand new construction. However, you'll be moving in by the end of next month or the following month. And what does that do to you? The property you're renting, you surrender that property, you move into your new house, and now you don't have expenses for two properties. You only have one, okay? And you'll be able to handle it a lot better. Another option would be, if it's your first house, maybe a brand new construction that is going to be done sometime down the road may not be the best option for you at this moment, maybe in the future, but now you may want to buy a house that is already built somewhere else. Go to an area that you really like, that's convenient to you, with a property that fits and it has all the stuff that you want and need. May not be painted the color you want, but you may get a much better deal that you can buy it, move in next month, and then again you move out of the property where you are right now. You're going to have the expenses of the new property now. So your finances are not going to be damaged. You're not going to be doubling or tripling your expenses all of a sudden overnight for the next 2 years. Okay, you move into that house, you painted the color you want, you fix the kitchen the way you want it, you fix the stuff around the way you like it. Okay, and your finances will continue to be healthy after that. Those are the solutions that I will do. Number 5. Following the instruction of fast talkers and salespeople who talk a lot but says very little, leaving you tired, overwhelmed, excited, and not getting your question ask and answer properly. Right now it's getting popular again. A lot of gurus and people that come with celebrities and showing cars and showing this, and they're the best investor in the world. They're doing this. Come invest with us and do this and do that. Come buy a house. You never bought a house right now, and you listen to some of those people that talk. They sit with you and just talk to a point where you can't even think straight. And people that when you try to ask a question, listen, but I have a question about this. How about all of a sudden they interrupt you and they want to give you, see, what you're trying to say is this, and that. Well, the answer to that question is this, and that. Fast talker like that, let me give you some solution. Run away, because if you do business with people like that, very likely the possibility of you making a bad decision with them are very high. So you very likely are going to get into financial trouble if you follow their advice. There could be multiple reasons why they're doing that. Number one, they could be new in real estate, but they want to pretend they know a lot about real estate, and they want to talk a big game and talk a lot to try to impress upon you. But since they don't have the knowledge and they don't know what are they talking about, and they want to sound like it, the one who's going to end up paying for everything is going to be you, not them. Because when everything goes south, they're not going to come and pay your bills. You will. And you're going to be the one that if you lose your house, you're going to lose your deposit, all the money that you save, and you're going to end up without house. And not only you're going to start saving again, but now you're going to have a really bad taste, and your emotion may be in a different place after losing all of that stuff. And a lot of times in the process of losing a property, you could lose your family and your house, because a lot of people even get divorced, sadly, when the financial trouble gets out of hand and overwhelming for a lot of people. And those fast talkers, they're not going to be anywhere to be seen when you have to deal with those things. So be careful with people that are like that. Another solution is get away anyway, okay? And trying to find somebody that can listen to your question, even if they're supposedly dumb question. Somebody who can listen to it and give you an answer up to a point where you can understand that, I can comprehend that. Okay, and then you're in better position to make better decisions at that time. Number 6, giving deposit up front to the salesperson or directly to an individual. Don't ever do that in real estate. When you're selling real estate and you have somebody who's talking to you on the phone, who's always too busy to meet with you in person and tell you to send some money, transfer the money here, transferring the money directly to a loan officer or directly to a real estate agent, directly to the property owner, or directly to another person, it's a no-no if you're buying a house. Okay, you want to leave the deposit in escrow, and you ask for an escrow letter where it says here they already have the funds there in escrow pending for the closing of the transaction to be used at that time. It could be an attorney that can hold it, or an escrow company, a title company can hold the funds. Even for rental, a title company can hold it as well, but never a person, an individual, okay? Especially if it's an individual who's talking too much, who's talking fast, never meet with you, everything is over the phone or the internet, and they're going to give you the keys, they're going to give you the contract and all that stuff after you send them the money or make a transfer. That's a no-no. So the solution is just don't do it and find another property. You're probably being scammed if you do that. Be very careful. Number 7, lenders charging upfront fees just to gather your paperwork and start processing your loan. If you are dealing with a loan officer that all of a sudden charge you a fee, even small fee, a large fee, just to start working with you, the solution to that is no. There are a ton of good lenders, okay, with experience. They're working all the time, they're producing, and they will process your loan. They'll take all of your information. They start working with you without charging you one penny, okay? They can get their fees at closing. If they charge you up front, you could lose your money, ending up disappointed. with your emotions over on the ground and with less money as well, and now you still haven't bought a house. Now you got to buy a house and you have less money, because what happened is, and sometimes they say, okay, your loan was denied or you didn't qualify, but you already lost a deposit or part of the loan fee that they ask up front. So don't ever give one penny like that. And if it's towards the purchase of a house, the money has to go in escrow with a third party, an attorney or a title company that can hold escrow. Now you have information to make smart decision. Beware, and hopefully you can apply some of this information so you can actually make wise decision in the process of buying your next property, which it could be very exciting, and it will do a lot of good to your finances when you do it correctly, especially if you start correctly.